Welcome back. It's Robin from Southern Latitudes, and we have a garden tour video next. I'm a little behind, so it's from May, but I have just recently shot the June one, and you'll see that later in the week. We have a lot of rain, so I can get a lot of editing done, and when I'm not doing that, guess what? I'm going to be canning and freezing and do all sorts of cooking in the kitchen. I can't wait to do that, actually. So I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. It's good for me to do these things because then I can remember what I did and how I did them. So I hope you don't find it too boring, but it's really works out good for me. God bless and see you in the next one. So much has changed out here. As you can see, I still have these two cabbages. I just pulled this one today, and there was one here I pulled today. And we have another cabbage there, but all my kales are still in place. And they're doing good, no bolting. You can see my Nero de Toscana, I have Red Ursa, and on this side I have the blue Scotch Curl and more Red Ursa and so forth. A lot of blue Scotch, the blue Scotch Curl is right there, and more cabbage. I have just a little bit more cabbage right there. And all of my lettuce, various lettuce and radishes are gone. And it's way too hot in Florida for that. So it looks so nice. I finally took care of my weed problem. And this is my sunflower. The little cabbages that were in here are gone. I have one lone marigold. What was back here? Okay, so I had red Norland potatoes. I still got one left. And that was a learning curve. And I did get some red potatoes, ate some red potatoes, but after this one, we're done with them for this year. I'm going to think and pray on this. I'm not sure. I may change things around in this section of the front gardens. And I have a beautiful cosmos there. And this is one of my favorite cosmos that I have right here. And I can't even tell you the variety. So, and then we're going to go to the north side of my front garden. And if you remember, we had 4 different squash varieties on these 3 rows. And I had Ronde Denise, or Rondenice, I'm not sure, French. And I had back there Casertas. Both of them did not produce very well for me. They just didn't have a lot of blooms. The heat got them. I may try again in the fall and finish out the seed packet, but I don't see them as, coming on strong as a regular here in my garden. I had Zephyr squash, and they did great. I have some Mexican heather in there right now just to keep bees around. And here we had the Pattison Golden Marbury Scalloped Edge. Loved that. Everybody in the family loved it. Everybody I gave it to loved it. So it will stay in my garden. So we'll plan for the Zephyr and the patty pan type squash in the fall. I got borage in the far back, another borage and a cosmos back there. Now in this empty row, that we just cleared that out, and I have had slippery silk beans in there, and they did very good. I was very happy with the output of production. Not all my plants germinated, and that was mostly a squirrel issue, not so much anything having to do with seed or maize. So, but anyhow, good lessons learned. It was a great plant. We're probably going to do that again too in a bigger number next fall, or this fall, I should say. So I have a great sunflower. I have a couple of them in here. I planted tons, but of course, squirrels. They come out of this oak, and this is their little highway, and this was their food source. So I put in some pretty zinnias because I knew everything was going to die out. So I need something in here for the summer to keep it all pretty looking and attractive for the street and the neighbors. So that's what was in there. Like I said, my sunflower, this one's going really nice and tall. my neighbor, she has got 10-foot tall ones over there. They're amazing. So anyhow, this was grass I never pulled out, and it became a huge mess, but we just totally took it back with the lawnmower, and I gotta get the weed eater. But so that's that. And okay, so I just bought this little plant at a blueberry farm, and they called it a Florida pepper, but it looks very much like a Tabasco pepper plant to me. You let me know in the comments below what you think that might be, but it looks like Tabasco, and they said they make hot sauce out of it, so that sounds about right. So I have more cosmos. This is where my Yukon Golds were. I got 2 left. I did get about 3 potatoes per plant. This one's starting to kind of die off a little bit right there. And this one over here is putting the bloom out, so I know it's near done. Let's see, where did those blooms go? Oh, maybe it was the red one. Could have swore I saw blooms. Anyhow, yep, they're just about done. It's getting too hot for them too. I did not, the verdict is in on the sort of straw dirt combo with a cage. I just will not be doing that again, and I will never do it where there's the black shade cloth. That was such a Guggen mistake, such a newbie thing. Yeah, I made a huge mistake putting that around there. Oh, I didn't do that over there, and that was much better, but here, what a huge mistake. But I got potatoes nonetheless, and that was really my first time actually getting edible potatoes. So, and okay, my Brazilian red candles, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't have a blue one. Oh, I got a couple coming out like tomorrow, but that'll come out, and it's blue, and it's just gorgeous, and it's such a showstopper. People love it. And my dahlias, what another success. I had 2 tubers, and this is the only one that made it. And look, it's just gorgeous. It did fall over, but I staked it back up. And so I love that. I gotta, hopefully that, find some more of those later. I bought more seeds from Baker Creek for flowers to come in here. This is going to be another cosmos, I believe. So, and a weed. Where did you come from? No. Okay, so let's go to the back. So I just started work. The majority of the work on this will be tomorrow, but I just started work in this whole area. I just call the trellis gardens. So this is red Russian kale, and I've always grown this. But it hasn't ever done very well after April. And look, we are May. Let's see, 13th. We are on May 13th. I forgot the day. And I'm not even seeing signs of aphid problems. So, which is just fantastic. So I know the key is next time put my kale here in the shade, and I'll get a whole lot more use out of it. So I love sauteing this, especially with some Caribbean jerk seasoning, or smoothies are good too. Yeah, kale chips. We make lots of those now. My purple scented flower, I think those are sunflower seeds. I'm not 100% certain. Surrounded by some zinnias. I did put sunflowers out. Don't know if they took. So I have 2 more new things in the garden. Excuse is fine. It's not attached to anything anymore. This is a red roselle. So can you see that? These are babies. They're only about 2 weeks old, maybe 3. This one's doing real good. I'll show you from the side. So that's a beautiful little plant there, and I have 4 of the 5 survived the transplant, and I'm keeping Buddy off of them with these cages, hopefully. In here I have German chamomile. I got to clean this up, make it look a little nicer. Here, if you wonder what all these vines are, they're called air potatoes, and you do not eat them, but they are such a nuisance, huge nuisance in Florida. So there's another red roselle. I had cilantro in here, and I let it go to seed and create coriander, which is drying, and so I have a beautiful blank space here. It just happened this morning, so I haven't a clue what I'm going to put in there, or if anything put in there. So, and like I said, we're still cleaning on this area. So I have green globe artichokes. 1, 2, 3, 4 died, and 5. So hopefully that'll, I'll clean it up, get that whole corner pretty, mulch it down really nice, or put hay around it, remove all those air potatoes, and see what we can get as the heat turns on. I'm not sure. This is a massive experiment in Florida, not just with me, but with other people. We're all trying artichokes, and just seeing which varieties work here. Now, you saw earlier my garlic did really good, except for the squirrels in this pot. So I was very happy about that. We're going to pick a couple of varieties. Thank you, Rob Greenfield, who's doing experiments in Orlando. So we're going to go with what he recommends for good bulbs. This is my red ruby / grafted. Let's see, the grafting down here is Meyer lemon. So I'm going to assume all of these are grapefruits. This one's going to die. And that's going. And I have a few up top here. There's one. Can you see it? So, yeah, I'm excited. Probably should have pulled the fruit since it was just transplanting, but I was being a little bit selfish in that, and I would like to see it go. So in here we had sugar snap peas and shelling peas earlier in this spring. And so now we have replaced it with a climbing pole bean. We'll see if that works or not. I'm not sure because they look a little stressed. They don't seem to be climbing very fast. A couple of them have found the trellis. But they look stressed. They look very stressed to me. I think maybe we're wasting time. I'm not sure. The zinnias are looking fantastic. In some spots more than others. I have reseeded. But you know what? I probably just hit them with the lawnmower. So, let's see, another air potato. Terrible. So, okay. And then I did have Black Beauty eggplants in here. And squirrels got to them. And then I was like, oh, but I still got 2. And guess what? I got nothing. Absolutely nothing's left there now. So, and I don't know if you remember, but I had the cannellini beans in here. We picked all those, dried them, we shelled them, and it was okay production. I have not found anything to produce really good around, like directly around these pine trees. So we're going to work on, probably put them somewhere else too, but we're probably going to try to improve the soil here, because that's kind of a nice little spot to put something. So we'll keep trying. This is our first year in the new trellis garden in this whole quarter acre that you see. So this was Parisian pickling. It died as expected with this heat, but this will not be returning back to our garden this fall, unless I just finish out the seed packet. Didn't really work here. So this is the Armenian cucumber. It did really well. Uh-oh, look. You see bugs? Uh-oh. That's okay. It's seen its better season. I'm just waiting for this last one to finish up, which I may just pick it anyhow for dinner tonight or tomorrow. And when it's done, and we'll pull it and probably just leave the trellis empty, and only the zinnias, leave the zinnias all around. Got a beautiful sunflower here. You've already seen it once in another video. So I've been noticing a lot of stink bugs. This is not a stink bug, but I have been seeing a lot of stink bugs, and I think they like these pine trees, because I did not have that in my main area. So, okay, let me keep going. Don't want to bore you. This is the false hibiscus, or false Florida cranberry, red shield. It has so many names. Anyhow, or the red leaf hibiscus, you can call that. You can actually eat parts of it, the leaves are very good. They have a little zing to them. They're delicious. And they taste very cranberry-like. And then you can, I got to go back and look at that, but make tea out of these little pods. And they have a special name. Of course, I can't remember right now because I'm dog-tired after 4 hours of yard work. So another red roselle right here next to, which is also sometimes called a Florida cranberry. But so they're kind of friends, if you will, and kind of do the same thing. I'm hoping for cranberry jam. And I just like the color. I thought the color would be really nice contrast with the green and the other florals here. So weeds. Okay, we're done with this side. And I just run the lawnmower through. I had dill here before. I don't know if you remember. And that is completely gone, which is perfect. It did its thing. It kept the ground covered until I was ready to use it. And now I have blueberries waiting to be planted today or tomorrow. So this is called a climbing oleander. And yeah, it can be a risk with animals. I don't plan on putting my chickens or my dogs over here, so we're just going to let them grow, and this will fan out real beautiful. And my whole point of putting it there is because here's my little walkway. I'm going to come back through so you can see I have a beautiful trellis here, a little visual with the ladybugs my mom gave me. And so we're going to make a path, and right across from that you'll see that huge climbing oleander, and we'll put some more trellis for it to climb on, and then you can walk left or right. So yeah, so anyhow, that's good. So, and these are the Antigua eggplants. I had Cosmos in here and forgot, and I ran over them with a lawnmower. That's a bad plant mommy. So, yeah, so I got some babies coming along late, but then I have these two. And look, I just noticed all this. I got a bloom. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at this variegated zinnias. Aren't they beautiful? Oh, they're so gorgeous. This whole section has a lot of variegated in it. So, and I just covered it for a moment while I was cutting grass and everything, but I have ping tung, which is a long Japanese eggplant, is over here. And it's close to making a bud right there. So that won't be far behind. Okay, so these are called Chickadee's High Bush Blueberries. I have 6 of them, and they're going to all go in this area. I just haven't decided exactly where. I'm going to leave some space on the fence, and kind of create my walkways and then fill in around that. So I'm super excited. These I know they grow well in Florida. I bought them from the lady about 20 minutes up the road from me at the Meters Blueberry Farm. Very nice people. I also got my pepper plant up front from them. So, look at my nasturtiums. Oh, gorgeous. That's my first year with them, but they are just loving life, and I'm loving that they love it. So, my Chinese noodle beans are good. You can see the aphids, I guess. I'm thinking you can. Yeah, not great. And there's ants on there too. I just knock them off with the hose and then bring them in. This one's like ready to eat. This one is too. Wow. We have hawks in those trees over there. Baby hawks. This one got a little bit away from me. Gosh, that must be 22 inches or something. It's close to 2 feet. And that was probably going to go and become a seed bean pod. So I don't see too many more. This did bloom yesterday, so it may be seasonal. It might not go through the summer, and that's okay. I'm used to that in Florida, and then I get to rest by the pool. So this is borage. You see, here, let me show you the beautiful blooms. Now, borage in the front was covered with bees from morning to night. This borage hasn't been discovered for some reason, and I have a little nasturtium gotten crowded out. So I don't know. I hope I was hoping to draw in some bees with all the cucumbers and things. Just didn't happen. I don't know. Kind of crazy how that works. But I have the butterflies like crazy. Oh, look, you can see butterfly. See a little butterfly going right to the zinnia. They love that. So, okay, moving on. We have cranberries. Cranberries. I wish. These are Florida Everglades cherry tomatoes. A little pineapple in there. I do have pineapples here and there throughout the garden. There's two, let me see, right there and there. And I have a Mexican something avocado. I have to go relook that up. So anyhow, this is loaded. My dogs are enjoying it. I bet the squirrels are, probably rats, who knows what. But I got a friend that is really wanting some, so I'm going to probably pick this afternoon after lunch and grab those. So, and this is going to be the future home for chickens one day when I get the time to build a coop, which is not on my priority list. Okay, so this is what we have always called the salsa garden. And this is its first year. We just put it in January, February, and started putting babies in March. Oh, no, I guess we put them in February. My frost date is around February 1st. So, salsa garden. But we do have other things besides salsa ingredients. So we have beautiful Italian flat leaf parsley, doing great here. Did not do great over in the other garden. This is Clemson spineless okra. I did 3 sowings, and if you saw the earlier videos, I had a whole bunch in there. Squirrels got them. I had them in every hole. Squirrels got those. But I'm still happy with the number I got for now. And considering nobody else in my family really loves it. But I had hopes of pickling it, so guess not. So I have some corn. This is golden bantam. That's a nice ear right there. And some with success, some not. This Florida this one just never is going to get pollinated, I guess. Florida just stinks as a corn state. This is why we're known as the orange state. Yeah, it just stinks. We try. I get, a handful, a dozen of corn, and that's it. And some of them, I don't feel anything in there. So it is what it is. But you've seen my tomatoes before. These are Campari, come right out of Publix. I just squeezed them right into the dirt. And they have always grown very well for me. We made 2.5 quarts of spaghetti sauce, or tomato sauce, if you will. And did awesome. Wow, I need to do something with these. Okay, we got new stuff. Brand new. Breaking news. The indigo apples. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at them. Oh, they're kind of splitting because we had a lot of rain here recently. See, they got these little burnt tops. Aren't they gorgeous? There's another one. They're all starting to turn. The first section. This is also a Publix tomato. Don't know the name, but boy, they're a little bit bigger than these Camparis, which are like larger than a cherry tomato, but not really good for much else. Maybe salads. This definitely is salads. You could make do with a sandwich slicer with these, whatever these were. I think they were called Sunshine. So they're doing great. And somehow another Everglades slipped in here. Do you see this? They always slip in no matter where you go. You try to be careful and eradicate them, but they are just part of Florida living. Kind of like love bugs right now. So I'm going to skip a row, but just show you from this side. I have, look, San Marzanos. I counted 11. I learned something new with these. They don't seem to like the Florida heat that we had, but when we had the cold snap, all of a sudden it set a bunch of fruit. Let's see. So here's another one. I had 11. I told you. So there's some over here too. Oh yeah, see the babies? That was during the cold snap. So that's fantastic. I have them a little bit. We are definitely talking about retrying. We'll fill the trellis up with these again in the fall when we have a longer and better season and head towards cold. And that'll be fantastic. So look at these babies. These are called Black Vernissage. I hope I'm saying my French right. I did not take French in school. But the greens were a complete bust. I don't have a single green. I have great greenage, green foliage, but I don't have any of the green. Only the blacks. There they are before they're ripe. This is Black Vernissage. And that's it ripened. And I had this one yesterday. Delicious, absolutely delicious. It tasted like it had salt on it, and it wasn't even salted. So these are, I think they call them midnight bullnose peppers. So that's going to be your traditional pepper, and they're loaded with buds, all of them. So they're just waiting for the heat. Heat's starting to turn on this week or two. The nights are starting to get hot. Now these are a different variety, Arroz con Pollo. So we'll see. That one might be too. I'm not sure. They're doing okay. They're just slow to mature. These are all my marigolds that I grew. So they're doing fantastic. I don't know if they're keeping bugs away or not, but they're just beautiful. Yesterday we took and cleared all of the cucumbers, all the good ones anyhow. Oh, we missed one. Yeah, no, we didn't miss it. Yeah, that's why we didn't pick these. My friend and I, we picked all the good cucumbers off. So, or we thought we did, and then look at this. I thought I pulled all my dars and I put in purple Russians, which probably won't take. Oh, I got blooms. See that? This one. Nah. It may be future blooms. So anyhow, but I don't expect them to do well because that's an heirloom, and our nights are going over 70 degrees. Yeah, so that's probably just not going to happen. But it was fun. I just threw them in the ground because I can't kill a plant. So anyhow, I thought I pulled all the dars out, right? And look what I found. I found a dar. And it's in perfect... no, it's not perfect condition. Crap. This sounds good. I might eat that with lunch. And skip the extra protein there on the top. Okay, so let's set up and I'll tell you about these peppers. Okay, so real quickly, I had 3 Arroz con Pollo and only one survived. Thank you, squirrels, and maybe Buddy, my boxer, gotten that too. Then I have 2 red Marconis right there. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more of the Arroz con Pollos. And they are a little bit shorter and slower to mature, but they look real healthy. There's just no fruit setting yet. Then I have 5 Corbaci pepper plants. And let me tell you, these things are awesome. I already picked one that was probably like 15 inches. Yeah, I accidentally touched it. I was waiting for it to turn colors, and I touched it and I broke it off. But they're loaded with blooms. Oh my goodness, they are just all of them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I don't know if you can see all those blooms on there. And so anyhow, that's my Corbacis. Okay, so next row, I have 3 openings for, these are Alma paprikas right here. 2 and 3. Some of them have doubles in them. So those are going to be paprikas, and they have blooms. Okay. Oh, look, I have a fruit set. Can you see that one? Ah, yes, a paprika pepper. These are totally new to me. I've never done this in my gardens before. So then now I have 4 or 5 bullnose sweet bell peppers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I only have 4. There might be a 5th. Yeah, there's some that are doubles. But you can see they have blooms. Like I said, this is March 13th. May 13th. And then I have 3 Tabascos, which I think really only 2 took, unless I'm counting that as a double. So the Tabascos are coming along. And then I had a blank for jalapenos. But I'm not going to do that just because I'm a little worried about cross-pollination with all the hots and sweets mixed together. That's a zinnia. That I just need to clean up. That was supposed to be my peppercorns, Piper nigrum, and guess what? Nothing. Bought the seeds in England, came all the way over here, started them, and nothing. I've done it twice and nothing. So these are my jalapenos. I'm going to stop complaining. These are my jalapenos, and yes, I started them late. I'm not sure where exactly I'm going to put them, but they're not loving being here in these pots. They look a little yellowy, so we'll figure that out. This is all broccoli seed drying, and you see this? This is my baby miracle fruit baby, and it has brand new growth in it. Can you see the little red right there? That's all new growth since I just put it in this new pot. So that's fantastic. It's growing good. I'll probably throw it in the ground maybe soon. I don't know, because it's loving where it's at. It loves having fresh dirt, so wouldn't it love just being in the ground? So anyhow, this is my Persian lime, and it spent 3 years in a pot limping along. It looked terrible. It has new blooms, a second set of blooms. This is the second time and series, and look at the limes on it. It doesn't have many because we transplanted it, had to pull it out and then pull it out for a day and then get the sheds in and then put it back in. So it took a little hit, and then we had bad weather. We had hail, not at my house, but in the area, and must have had 50-mile-per-hour winds here, 45-mile-per-hour. That was bad. Knocked a lot of fruit off. But this is what survived. So this is its first year in the ground, and I've never seen it have limes this nice this early in the season. And of course, around Christmas, we'll have plenty of limes. We'll be able to eat them. I got more babies. So maybe it'll be a good showing of it. The avocado I was showing you earlier. So it's a winter Mexican. It's supposed to grow real good for my area. And it's got new growth. It had new growth before, and now it's putting out new growth again. So it's very happy back here. So that's the take. Winter Mexican Persea Americana. So anyhow, this is its first year here. We bought it. Gosh, did we buy it this year? We might have bought it last year and had it in a pot. So this is it. So this is Plumeria, and it has a funny scientific name, Frenge something or other. But anyhow, it was in a pot. It was way too tall, so we broke it into 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And wow, it did not even slow down a little bit for the transplant. Look at that. I'm going to get blooms in spite of last month's transplant. So, and this has new growth on that. Can you see that? Yep. And don't be afraid to share about your gardening stuff, because you never know. People might say, hey, guess what? I've got 1, 2 of a different color. So this one will be the white with the yellow inside, and this is going to be a pink one. And look, it's putting out new growth too. So that's awesome. I'm very pleased. We got some tropicals too around the sheds. And okay, I'm gonna kill this. So this is something like a shrimp plant, like Panama. I'll put the link, not the link, I'll put the name up here. This is called Musical Notes, and it took Did not like the transplant, did not like the cold afterwards. I seriously thought I'd be moving them this week. And I just got over here and look, the little musical notes are starting to be made. I noticed the new foliage, and the love bugs. I noticed the new foliage, but I was like, I'm still going to have to replant it again. It's going to hate me. And no, here come the blooms. It just hated the cold. My neighbor gave me a couple pineapples. Actually, she gave me 4, 2, 3, 4. Some, probably going to have time this week to focus on getting them a home. This is Cassandra. This is a yellow gold color. It's a little different. It puts up a long seed pod here, and then the flower goes up here. Versus, here I'm going to show you over here. This is the orange variety, and it instead the whole seed pod is very long. That's a few inches, and blooms go up. Well, actually, they go down. I should say, down the whole thing. So that's Cassandra, and that is gorgeous. I wish I'd gotten at least 5 of those because those are just gorgeous, and they didn't seem to mind the heat. They didn't seem to mind the cold as much as these others. So here's another musical notes. It's a little bit slower. This one had to be transplanted the first time. The second time, 2 times. That's why it's a little behind its brother over there on the end cap. So anyhow, so that's it. This, I don't normally like to show you our ugly areas. So we did try a shady mix of flowers. Nothing took around any of these pines or oaks. This is our garbage debris pile. Some things are going to be repurposed. I hope to burn the oak. So, and then some things are just going to the dump. And we need to do this soon because it is becoming a home for the air potatoes. My tomatoes I'm going to take down. And then whatever these are, they're growing magnificent, but they got to go. And look, pothos, golden pothos. I'm so allergic to that. It's like poison on my skin, along with the Virginia creeper. And I need to be able to mow that. So these pipes got to go. I don't know where they're going to go, but they got to go. And all this PVC. PVC can be reused in a lot of ways. So, anyhow, and like I said, look at that. Tomatoes. Everglades tomatoes. I cannot kill these things. So, that's the long view of our backyard. Well, cut off view. Last but not least, maybe it's least at this time of year, but it sustained us a lot through the whole winter. This was a bit of a market garden, a little bit of everything, while the other gardens were all being created and built. So at one point we had squash, we had carrots. You saw the carrot video, tons of that. The broccoli's still in it, and we've got seeds from it. So I'm ripping all that out. I have just like 2 tomatoes on each one. Do you remember I had like 18 tomatoes on these tomato plants? I lost the ones over here due to heat. That's normal, expected. This is Florida. And I have those 2 left, and they're getting ripped out. All the lettuce is ripped out. It's all been going over here. You are looking at, even though their pen is dirty, those are fat and sassy hens. Do you see how much goodness greens they're eating? So they've always eaten good. I've always given them my extra large broccoli leaves and things like that. The bunny gets a lot of the extra little carrots that I missed the first time through. There's lettuce, Merlot lettuce in here. Parsley got sun parched. Lots of aloe. A terrible pepper plant that's going to get ripped out. So I have all this stuff. Oh, I have all sorts of celery back there. I'll walk back there. I put some beans in. Squirrels ate so much of my beans, and that's what's left. So, and I had some Brussels. Not going to work in this heat. I knew that when I did it, but I did it anyhow. Collards would have worked if they were established, but I just let them get dry. I was a bad plant mom. Cherry tomatoes need to come up. Everything needs to come up. This is some mammoth dill. I was able to use the top one I needed to. Now it's just becoming a bug home. That looks like a caterpillar. Do you see those? Yeah. My onions, these are not leeks. These are green onions that went crazy after it took forever for them to get established. You see how big they are? So I'm going to find a really good recipe and pull them one by one and probably use them once a week or twice a week. And then this whole garden, and there's my celery, tender crisp. And it's okay, but it's the wrong season for it, right? And there's some more celery, and there's some covered by the broccoli. And you see, there's my dead plant. Hold on, let me show you other things. That's oregano, but you can't see it because it's got covered by, look at all this grass. This is supposed to be garden dirt. Yeah, my bad. And even my lawn guy starts, my lawn friend, Mr. Danny, he started mowing in there for me just to help me keep all this under control. He's so sweet. I pay him in a lot of vegetables, and he loves it, and I love it. I love growing for him. Rosemary is doing fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. I could use rosemary in a lot of dishes. 6 pineapples. So if you're new to the channel, hadn't seen them before, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the lizards are running for their life. And 6. They're like, wow, some person showed up over here. And believe it or not, I had weeded these a couple months ago, and they're just covered and loaded with weeds again. That's all the good mushroom compost. That's why. So, and these bolting, that's Arrowhead or Bronze Beauty lettuce. It's bolting. Oh, why do I have that? I can hear you. You were asking me, even though you weren't asking me, but I know you were thinking it. So I actually had some bait left over from fishing, and I put them all in here for whatever I plant next. And then the dogs thought they were going to dig that up, so I put my garden sign over it to stop the dogs. So not much stops, buddy. I didn't think that would, but it did. So this is it. Next time you see it, it will be completely empty. Oh, there's actually 3. Look, there's 2 there also. And here, I'll show you. In Florida, if you don't know this rule, okay, if you're a Florida gardener, when your heirlooms put fruit, but then all of a sudden the blooms disappear like this, they die off, and they won't set a fruit. That's because your nights are likely going over 70 degrees. And sometimes you'll have that, and it'll go back to a cool week or 2 or whatever, and then you'll produce fruit again. You'll set fruit. But when these nights, this is May, it's getting really hot now at night and humid. And this is what's going to happen. And you might as well just kiss your plants goodbye. Because after that, then I get red mites or spider mites and everything. That's what's going to happen to these. And that's why I have the other tomatoes in the other garden, because those don't suffer like these very beautiful heirlooms. These are a beefsteak, a Better Boy, I believe is what F1. They came out of Johnny Seeds. Fantastic. We will definitely be regrowing that type, that variety, probably every year, because I can't see me being without them. These are kind of small, but they were magnificent all through the winter and spring. And it helps we didn't have a frost or no snow. We don't usually get snow. We have seen snow maybe a couple times the whole time, 16 years I've lived here. But generally, no. And then when we get frost, that's why we plant in here for the winter, because I put things that need covering in here. And I can easily do that if it's all in one garden. So, anyhow, I feel raindrops. I guess the sky's about to let out. So, which is great. I'm ready to go in and get some lunch. I'm famished. Probably going to eat some of that cabbage and cucumbers and stuff. So have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Hey, welcome back to Southern Latitudes.